get expired in 30 days. Okay, like this we can configure. Now these are the default rule expiration days. Now if I upload a rule or if I create a IOC rule, they will, if they it is based on IP address or if it is based on hash values, they will be active only for 30 days. After that, it will get expired. It will not work. Okay, so default rule expiration, anybody, any administrator can come and change this. Okay, so yeah, so if this is mentioned, that's what will be followed here. Yeah, so under reliability, if I select default, option, whatever is defined here in default rule expiration, those number of days will be followed for expiration. Okay, or no, I want to mention the expiration date. Let's say I have a date in mind, that is, it should be active from today, 18th November, 19th November to, let's say, till January 19th. Okay, so I have a specific date. I can configure that date. So I'll select specific date, and what is the end date? Let's say I want this to be active till January 19th. I'll select that. Okay, so whatever rules I am uploading, they will be active till this date. Okay, or I want to mention no expiration. If I select no expiration, these rules will be active always. Okay, till I come and, let's say I come and delete any of the rules, they will be active all the time. That is no expiration. Okay, so these configurations we need to do if we are uploading any file, any already source we have, any good source we have, threat intelligence source, or any friends are there and they are giving me a file, I can directly upload that file here, and we need to populate this. Okay, so this is for uploading a file, uploading a source from somewhere else. Okay, or I want to customize my rule. Okay, I want to create my own IOC rule, then go for single IOC rule. Okay, now what is the indicator? Okay, now what should be identified for you to generate the issue? Okay, or for the XDR to generate an issue. So let's assume I have a process, I have a application. Okay, and I don't want, or whenever anybody uses that application, any user uses that application, I want to generate the issue, I want to generate the alert. So I can type that indicator here. For example, let's say a malicious application is there, wscript.exe is there. Okay, that is my indicator. Now I need to mention what is the type, whether it is a full name, file name, or file full path, domain IP address, hash. Let's assume file name. Okay, or I want to select anything else. Depends on whatever indicator I am giving. Based on that, I can give the file type. Okay, or I'm mentioning, let's say, any IP address. So mention the IP address and give the value. Give the file type as IP address. Okay, or any email address, I can mention the email address and select email address here. Okay, so depending on the indicator, select the type. Okay, now whenever this wscript.exe file is run, okay, I will get the alert. Then I need to mention the severity. What is the severity? Whether it is critical or high or medium. Let's say high. Okay, this is a high severity incident or high severity alert. So select the severity. If you have any comment, give the comment. Okay, then reputation. What should be the reputation? Whether I know this is a very bad file, okay, or it is a suspicious one, or no, it's a good one only, but still I want to generate an alert. I can mention the reputation. Let's say it is a very suspicious one. I'll select the reputation as suspicious. Okay, then I need to select the reliability. Okay, how reliable this is. So let's say I am generating the IOC rule, right? So it is fairly reliable. So I'll select fairly reliable. Then finally, what is the expiration? Okay, so expiration, now it is highly recommended that you give your own expiration date. Okay, so don't give default. Now, if you give default, again, as I said, somebody else can come and change the default rule expiration dates. Okay, so whatever default values are there, others may also vary. Now, if I will be thinking that, hey, for IP address, it is 30 days. So I will select default. Okay. But now tomorrow somebody else comes and changes the default rule value to 7 days. Now my IOC rule will be active only for 7 days. After that, it will not be active. So that will defeat the purpose. Okay. So highly recommended that instead of selecting default, you give your own expiration date. You specifically mention your expiration date. Okay. So let's say I want this one till December 20th. I'll select the 20th. Okay. Or let's say I want this IOC rule to be active always. I will say no expiration. Okay. So we need to populate all of these things. Once everything is ready, now you need to just activate. Yeah, you have the create button. Click on create and you will get your IOC rule ready. Okay. So this is your IOC rule created. Okay. Now anybody, if they are trying to open this application, okay, automatically that is detected and an alert or an issue is generated to for me in the Cortex XDR console. Okay, I'll get the issue that hey, so and so user from so and so IP address is opening this application. I'll get the issue generated. Okay, so that is your IOC rules. Now for this IOC rule, I can do a right click. Okay, once I create it, I can do a right click. I want to edit it, I can do that. I want to disable this rule, I can disable it. Let the rule be here, but just disabling it. Yes, I can disable it, or I want to delete it also, I can do that. Okay, so that's your IOC rule configured. Okay, so yeah, so that's about your IOC rule. Let's quickly review this in the slide deck. Yeah. Yeah. So IOC rules in XDR are composed of specific elements that define how threats are identified and prioritized. Okay. So first is your indicator value. So indicator value, what you need to define? Whatever specific value to be matched, whether it is the file hash or domain, whatever I want to match, I will mention that here. Okay. Then what is the type? Whether it is a file name or full path or domain, what does the category of the indicator value? Okay, so to which category does it belong to? So we need to define that. Okay, then what is the severity? Whether it is critical or medium or high severity, what is the level of threat associated with the IOC? I need to define that. Okay, now remember this, IOC rules can be written not only for the threats, not only for malwares, okay, even for simple things. Okay, it need not be any malware also. It need not be any malicious thing also. Even simple things like if you want to know who is using CMD, okay, who is using command prompt on the endpoint. I want to identify that. Even that you can do. If anybody is using command prompt, so you can mention cmd.exe and create IOC rule for that. Okay. Now anybody uses CMD, I will get the alert for that. Okay. Now, so not only for threats, even for simple things, I can generate an IOC issue. Okay. Yeah. So also you can upload, not necessary. You have to create your own customized one. You have a file, you have a well-known source. You can upload the IOC rules from that source as well. Okay. So it supports several type of IOCs that you can upload to help detect and respond to potential threats. Okay. So, but we need to mention the data format, in what format it is, whether it is in mixed format, so multiple things are there, or any specific things are mentioned in the IOC rules, you can select that as well. Okay. Yeah. And these are all the different fields. So if you visit the IOC rule, so when I go to the IOC rule, what are the different columns available? So you have the rule ID, modification time, indicator, type, severity, number of issues, sources. Okay. So all these fields are available here. Okay. So these are your attributes, IOC rule attributes. Okay. That's what is defined here. So in each IOC rule in XDR contains detailed fields. Okay. So in order to help us to understand what is the context, what is the status, configurations, okay, for effective threat detection and management. So these are the different, fields. So number of issues that have been identified due to that IOC rule, backward scan status, class, comment, expiration date, indicator, insertion date, reliability, reputation, severity, source, status, type, vendors. Okay. So all these things you'll be able to view in your IOC rule once you configure it. Yeah. And optional, so these are few optional things which you can configure for IOC rules, like you want to give any comment, you can give that. What is the reputation? okay, of that identification of that indicator. What is the reputation? Whether it is a bad one or whether it is your suspicious one, you can mention the reputation. Okay. Then what is the reliability? So whether it is usually reliable from wherever you have created the IOC rule. What is the source? Whether it is a reliable source or no, I don't know whether it is reliable or not. I can mention that. And also what is the expiration? Okay, so when you want the IOC rule to be expired, you can define that as well. Yeah. So settings for IOC rule. So expiration, as I said, default means whatever is defined in the default column. Okay. So for each file type, we have a default expiration value. So according to that, it will be expired. Okay. Then specific expiration date, that means you are defining the date. Okay. So define a date for the IOC rule to expire. No expiration date, it will be always active until manually I come and remove it. Okay. Or else it will be permanently available. Okay. So yeah, these are the expiration dates. And this is one example of IOC rule, right? So you define the indicator value, what is the type, what is the severity, you have a comment, give the comment, what is the reputation, reliability, and also the expiration date. Okay. So this is your IOC rule. So you can upload multiple IOCs, just upload a file here and multiple IOCs can be uploaded. And yeah, it's a CSV file, simple CSV file. The format is CSV. Okay. And what are the benefits of creating custom IOCs? So custom IOCs offers significant advantages, okay, for improving threat detection and adapting to evolving security threats. Okay. So immediate issues for known threats. Okay. Then you can tailor your IOC rules for your specific security needs. And also you can quickly adapt to new threats based on investigations and threat intelligence. So these are few benefits of creating our custom IOC rules, our own IOC rules. These are the benefits. Yeah, so that's about IOC rules. Next is BIOCs. Now, what are BIOCs? Behavioral indicators of compromise, right? So we are going to identify more about the behavior. Okay, so IOC rules, whatever we saw before, those are for simple threats, simple malwares, whatever known threats are there to identify them. Okay, BIOC for more advanced threats. Okay, whatever advanced tactics and techniques the attackers are using to identify those things. Okay, so BIOCs shift the focus from traditional IOC detection. Okay, so which are static like hashes. So that for static indicators, we are using IOC rules. Okay, but here, whenever the behavior changes, then we are going to write BIOC rules. Okay, so traditional IOC detection to behavior patterns associated with tactics, techniques, and procedures. Okay, so this includes actions on files, process, registry entries, and network communications. So any of these any changes in these things, if you want to identify, we will write BIOC rules. Okay, so this is for more advanced threats, your BIOC rules. Now, what are the common use cases of BIOCs? So if I want to identify any insider threats, okay, any advanced persistent threats, malware variants are there, okay, any network anomalies are there, any suspicious file operations are happening. To identify all these things, we are going to write BIOC rules. Okay, so these are highly versatile and can address a wide range of scenarios by focusing on behaviors that indicate all these things. So potential threats, even those traditional detection methods might miss, right? So any traditional detection, if they miss out, your BIOC rules will come and identify them. Okay. Yeah. So now what are the key elements of BIOC rules, right? So we have some pre-configured rules. Now pre-configured rules are written by Palo Alto and given to us via content updates. Okay, it is delivered via content updates. So Palo Alto already has some BIOC rules written. Okay, so they will go through the network or they will go through the market environment, everything, and they will create BIOC rules. Okay, and they will send it to us to our Cortex XDR via content updates. No, they will be automatically enabled. Say they will be active. Okay. Now, mostly they know, right? So Palo Alto knows what type of attacks are happening, what type of new malicious content is there in the market. So based on that, according to that, they will write the BIOC rules and send it to us. Okay, so they will be active. Okay, where I want to create my own custom rule, I can do that. Okay, so it is user defined and I can make use of SQL to match behavior. So I can write queries in order to identify, hey, whether any such event is happening or not. I can write SQL queries also for that. Okay, then detection and prevention. So now if you see IOC rules, whatever we saw before this IOC rules, that is only going to detect something. Okay, so that will be helping in detection. No, these are all detection rules only. Okay, so IOC rules to detect for any malware content and any of the files are there or not, any of the IP address is malicious or not. To detect those things, we will write IOC rules. Okay, BIOC rules also will detect. Okay, it is for detect, but also it can help in prevention. Okay, any prevention also BIOC rules can be used. Okay, how? When I create the BIOC rule, okay, and add it in your restrictions profile. Okay, now if you remember on day one, we spoke about restrictions profile. So that's a type of profile which we create in our management console and then push it to the endpoints. Okay, now if I add a BIOC rule, configure a BIOC rule, add it to my restrictions profile, it is going to restrict any of those things on my endpoints. So let's say any file name I have configured in my BIOC rule or any process name. Okay, any application name, any process name I have defined in my BIOC rule. Add that in the restrictions profile. On my endpoint, the users will not be able to open the application. Why? Because it is mentioned in the BIOC rule and it's going to prevent it from opening. Okay, so detection and prevention also possible using your BIOC rule. But for that, I need to add the BIOC rule, add it in my restrictions profile. Okay, and also provides historical data analysis, retrospective scanning for rule matches. Okay, so these are a few key elements for BIOCs. Now we'll see how to configure the BIOC rules. Now there are few types which are pre-configured or I want to customize, I can do that. Now, how do I check the BIOC rules? Again, under threat management. So under your menu, go to threat management and you have BIOC. Okay, so click on BIOC. Now this page will give me all the BIOC rules, whatever has been configured and whatever has been updated by Palo Alto. Now when I scroll down to the right, I can see the source column. Yeah, you can see the source column here. Okay, now if you see source, it is Palo Alto Networks. So whenever the source is Palo Alto Networks, these are the rules written by Palo Alto and they are delivered to me via content updates. Okay, so these are rules. These are all the rules written by Palo Alto. They are highly, they identify all the available existing malicious contents which can change, which can show behavioral patterns. Okay, so they all identify that, and according to that, they have written the rules and sent it to us. Okay, now on the top you can see content up to date. Okay, so whatever rules have been written by Palo Alto, everything has been received by us. Okay, so make sure this is content up to date. So whatever new rules are also written, they all will be available to us. Okay, so they all will be active. So you cannot delete this. Let's say you have this rule, you cannot delete this. So you can do a right click, you can disable it, you can save as new. That is save as new means it'll create a copy. Okay, a very similar copy, a duplicate will be created. You can modify that one. You want to make any changes to that one, you can do that. Okay, so you can click on save as new and modify the duplicate one, but you cannot delete these rules. You can disable it, yes, but you cannot delete these rules. Okay, so these are all the predefined rules which are available to us by Palo Alto. Now I want to create my own rule. So also here also you can import the rules. So if you have a source outside intelligence source, you have threat intelligence source, you can import the rules as well. Okay. Or you want to create your own rule, you can do that. So add BIOC. So click on add BIOC. Okay. Now how do I add? How do I want to mention it? What to identify? Okay. Either I can use an SQL search. Okay, I have this. So yesterday we saw, right? SQL search, SQL. how to write the queries, right? So you can use this SQL search to write the query, okay? Or you can use any one of these things, right? So let's say I want to search for any process. I want to identify any process or any file, okay? So or registry, right? So any of these elements also you can select. Now, for example, let's say I want to define a process. So I will select process. Okay. Now, what is the process name that I need to identify? Okay. Now, let's say I want to identify any events that has CMD, okay, .exe. This is my process name. Okay. If anybody uses CMD, okay. Now, this is my actor process. Now, if you remember yesterday, we saw what is actor process, what is action process. Actor process is your parent. Okay. Now let's say cmd.exe is my parent. Inside my cmd and cmd.exe, other things if you have, we can populate. Okay. Now inside my cmd and .exe, I want to add my child process. Okay. So if somebody is using cmd, okay, in that using your cmd, somebody is trying to open a putty session. So putty.exe. Okay. If this is happening, I want to know. If somebody is trying to open a putty session via your command prompt, I want to know those events. Okay. So I can configure this. So mention the actor process and then mention the child process, action process. Okay. Now I can save it. And now I need to populate all these things. Okay. Now what is the name? BAUC. So if you have a name, you can give a name or already pre-populate. Okay. Then what is the type? Okay. What is the type? Whatever we are configuring, whether it is, let's say, any credential access, discovery, dropper, or lateral movement. What is it? Okay. You can mention the type. Let's say I will select something, execution. Yeah. Some execution is happening. I'll select execution. Okay. Then what is the severity? Okay, what should be the severity level given for this? Whenever anybody who opens command prompt and opens a putty session in your command prompt, what is the severity level? So let's say the severity level is medium. Okay, then if I want to map this to any MITRE ATT&CK tactics and techniques, I can map it to it. So I can select up to 3 MITRE ATT&CK tactics and techniques. So all these are defined here. Anything I want to map it, I can map it. Okay. And that is optional. Okay. So yeah, you have the techniques and tactics. If anything I want to map, I can map it. Okay. Then I can give the comment. Okay. So if I want to add any exceptions, there are no exceptions for this. Okay. So if I want to add any comment, I can comment. Okay. Then I'll click OK. Once I click OK, okay. So this already exists, it seems. Behavior already exists. Yeah. So already this doesn't exist. So I will not click. But yeah, these are the different things you need to configure. Okay. So once this is done, you need to click save and your BIUC rule will be created. Okay. And now anybody, is it already there? Is it created by somebody? Did I create it already? Uh, source, no, so only the default rules are there, right? Okay. I'm not sure why it is not coming. But yeah, you get the idea, right? So how to create the BIUC rule. Okay. So yeah, so let's quickly review this in the slides. Yeah. So BIUC rules are flexible, supporting diverse event categories such as file operations, network activities, and process behaviors. Okay. So they can be created individually, or if you want to upload, let's say you have a source and you want to upload in bulk, you can do that. Okay. So event categories, detection scope, custom configurations, all these options are available here. So BIUC rule fields. So every BIUC rule is defined by critical fields that detail its purpose, what is the severity level and behavior. Okay. Also help us to map with MITRE ATT&CK tactics and techniques. Okay. So this will help BIUC rules with widely recognized adversarial techniques aiding in strategic response. Okay. So these are the fields. So we need to give the name, what is the severity level, what is the behavior, and if any exceptions are there or not, mapping it with MITRE ATT&CK tactics and techniques, and whether the rule should be enabled or not, we can mention that as well. Okay. So yeah, so Once we configure what is that we need to test, then we need to populate all these things, right? So we need to give a name, what is the type, severity, any exceptions, any comment. You want to map it with my taxing techniques, you can map these things. Okay, so these are all the different things we need to populate. Then now your BIOC rule, it can create many events. Okay, so it can sometimes overwhelm the system. Okay, so we need to make sure BIOC rules do not overwhelm the system by automatically managing high frequency matches. Okay, and applying exceptions for excessively widespread triggers, right? So it will create automatic exceptions. That means if these scenarios happen, it will not create alerts anymore. It will create exceptions. That is, if there are 5,000 hits in 24 hours for a BIOC rule. Okay, anything matches a BIOC rule 5,000 times in 24 hours, automatically it will disable the rule. Okay, it'll disable the rule. It will not match anything anymore. Okay, so that is one thing. Another one, if there are more than 100 endpoints related to BIOC rule in 72 hours. Okay, so more than 100 endpoints in 72 hours, it is matched. Again, it's going to create exceptions for these matches. Okay, it's not going to match again because it may overwhelm the system. Okay, and I don't want so many issues being generated continuously. So automatically these disabling will happen, and it'll let you know that in your notification, it'll let you know, hey, that this BIOC rule has been disabled. Okay, and also why what is the reason, that also it will give. Okay, so any of these scenarios happen, automatically BIOC rules are disabled. Okay, yeah, and now a small comparison of IOC rules and BIOC rules. So now IOC rules mostly used for your static indicators, okay, which are simple things. So hashes, domains, IP address, it is used here for mainly behaviors. Okay, so any behavioral change, to identify those things, we write BAUC rules. Okay, flexibility, match against known threats, whatever known threats are there. Here, unknown threats and advanced attacks, your BAUC. Okay, implementation, you have predefined or automatically updated. Here, highly customizable. Okay, and these are few examples of your IOC rules and BAUC rules. Yeah, so that's about IOCs and BIOCs. Next, we'll talk about correlation rules. Now, correlation rules, if I want to search multiple data sets, okay, at a time, I want to, let's say, correlate multiple data sets, and I want to create issues which should be grouped together, which are correlated, then I will go for correlation rules. Okay, so this is again little different from your IOC rules and BOC rules, where I'm going to correlate multiple things and then I'm going to generate the issues. Okay, so yeah, so correlation rules empower engineers to detect advanced patterns by analyzing event relationship across diverse data sets. Across multiple data sets, I can check. Okay, so these rules again use SQL engine. So we know our SQL query. So that is being used to perform either scheduled or real-time evaluations. Okay, so I can create the correlation rule and implement it immediately, or I want to schedule it. Let's say every 24 hours, I want to evaluate my database. Okay, I can configure that. Or the rule should run every 1 hour or every 3 hours. I can schedule it. Okay, so it helps it helps in precision detection of threats. Okay, so identifies patterns in multi-event data using your SQL query. Okay, and if any events are identified, so the daily scheduling, weekly, or okay. Now, where do I configure this correlation rule? Again, same place. So threat management, detection rule, correlations. Okay. Then issues are reflected in cases and dashboard, enhancing the threat monitoring. So if any match happens, anything I identify using correlation rules, those are available in my issues. Okay. Yeah. Now we'll see how to configure the correlation rule. Again, same place. So go to threat management, detection rules, correlations. Okay. Now, what are the fields? Now, first, let's explore how to configure the correlation rule. So again, same place under threat management, go to threat management. and we'll have the correlation rules here. So select correlations. And these are all the already existing correlation rule. Okay. Now, if I want to use them, already existing one, I can just right click it and save as new. I can modify it. I want to delete it. I want to disable it. All these options are there. Okay. Or I want to add my own correlation rule. Now, how do I do that? Right. So what are the different options for that? So click on add correlation, and this is where I configure the new correlation rule. So give a name for this new rule first. Let's say test. Okay. Test correlation. Just simple. Right? Give a name for this rule. Then you want to add a rule description. You can add the description. Okay. Then comes your SQL search. Now SQL search we already saw, right? So how to write the query. Now which is the data set I want to check? So whether I want to check the data set XDR data or any other data set I have, I need to define that. Okay. Under that, I need to define the fields or any filters I want to use. So what is the event I want to detect? I need to mention that in the SQL search. Okay, configure your SQL query. Once that is done, next we have to mention what is the time schedule. Okay, when I want this correlation rule to run, when I want this correlation rule to check the data sets, whether it is in real time, okay, or whether I want to do it now, or whether I want to schedule this, right? So when I drop down this, I'll get these options. Ah, ah. Okay, so I'll get this option. Okay, whether I want this rule to run now, okay, or every 10 minutes or every 30 minutes or every hour or current or daily, or customize it. Okay, I can define it. Okay, let's say I want to run this correlation rule on a daily basis. I'll select daily. Or okay, or I want to schedule this every hour. I can select every hour, hourly. Okay, yeah, so you can schedule the correlation rule when you want to run this one. Or if I go to custom, I can select all these things, or all these I think things I can customize. Okay, so yeah, let's say every 30 minutes I want this rule to run. Okay, fine. Okay, what is your time zone? You can select your time zone as well. Okay, then comes your time frame, query time frame. Okay, you want this rule to run every 30 minutes. What is the time frame? That is how many logs, what is the time frame of the logs you want to check? You want to check the logs for the past 1 hour, or you want to check the logs for past 2 hours? You can define it. Okay, or again, based on your minutes, let's say I want to check the logs only for the past 15 minutes. That is my query time. Or let's say past 30 minutes. Okay, that is my time frame window. Those the whatever logs are there in the past 30 minutes, you check that alone. Okay, so that is your query time frame. Then comes your issue suppression. Okay, now what is this issue suppression? Let's say I get an issue and an event was identified due to this correlation rule, whatever query I have written, an event was identified. Okay, obviously it is going to generate the issue for me. Okay, now that issue again and again I don't want. If I get one issue, that is enough. I don't want to have issues for all the events. Okay, so I want to suppress those issues. So how do I do that? I can enable the issue suppression. Okay, so here we can define whatever issues are generated by the correlation rule by, let's say, a time or a field or both, whether in the same time in the past 1 hour. If I'm generating the same issue, I don't want that. I can suppress that. Okay, or based on the field. Okay, let's say on a different field, let's say based on where is it? Based on any other fields, I can select the fields. Okay, based on that, I don't want another issue, I can suppress it. Okay, only one issue is enough for me. Again and again, I don't want to generate the issue, I can suppress those issues. Okay, so you have the issue suppression option. And then finally comes your action. Okay, what is the action to be taken if this event, whatever you are configuring in your SQL query, that event is identified? Okay, what is the action to be taken? Whether I want to just generate the alert. Okay, I want to just generate the issue that hey, so and so event was identified. For example, I am writing an SQL query to detect any process. Okay, anybody using a cmd.exe, anybody is using putty.exe, anybody is using notepad.exe. Okay, you generate the issue. So it will just generate the issue. That's all. If that event is identified, it will just generate the issue. Okay. Now for issue generation, what are the different configurations, right? So I want to give a name for that issue. I can give a name. Okay. Then under which domain does it come? So whether it is a severity domain or whether it is a health domain or portion. Severity means, sorry, not severity, security. If it's a security domain means any, security related issues are happening, then it will come under say security domain. Health means any issues with the endpoint. Let's say the endpoints are not communicating, the updates are not happening, the software versions are not getting updated. Okay, the communication issues are there. Those all come under your health. Okay, then posture will come under your domain, like your vulnerabilities. Any issues are related to vulnerabilities, any compliance, those will come under your posture domain. Okay, so under which domain am I checking? So let's assume security domain. Okay, it's a security issue. So security domain. Okay. Then what should be the severity of this one, of this issue? Whether it is an informational, low, medium, high, I need to select the severity of that issue. Okay. Then to which category it belongs to. So whether it is belonging to user-defined collection, credential access, execution, whatever the category is, you need to select the category. Okay. Then you have, if you want to describe the issue, you can mention the issue description if you want to. Then you have an option of drill down query. Now this is very useful, your drill down query. Okay. Now when I can use this drill down query is whenever whatever I'm identifying in my query, whatever things I'm searching in my query, if that comes true, okay, that happens, I want to do a further search. Okay, I want to do a further search. Okay, so somebody opened CMD. Okay, somebody opened putty.exe. Now, if that event happens, I want to search something more. That I can do using drill down query. Okay, now I want to know, let's say, in which agent host name that was generated. Okay, or what other process were being used on my endpoint. Okay, like this, I want to drill down more. Again, you need to write the SQL query for that. Again, what is the database or what is the data set you want to check? What are the fields you want to check? What anything you want to filter out, any duplications you want to remove. You can write a further drill down query for that. Okay, so that is drill down query available in your correlation rules. Okay, so you can define that. And what is the time frame for your drill down query that you can define here? Then to which MITRE-ATT&CK tactics and techniques you want to map, you can define that. Okay, so all these tactics and techniques. So when you click on anything, so those tactics and techniques will open. You can select. Okay, all these are tactics and techniques. You can select what is the issue. You can select them and click on select. That will be mapped. Okay, so you can map it, and then finally comes your issues fields mapping. Okay, now issues, now what is action? You're generating the issue. Okay, to which fields it should map, the output should map to what fields. So these are all the pre-configured fields. Okay, so whatever in the issues, already we have these fields. So you want to map it to pre-configured fields, you just enable this. Okay, so it will map it to whatever pre-configured fields, anything is matching, automatically the columns will be updated. Okay, or no, you want to give your own fields, then you can disable this one and you can configure. Yeah. So you need to disable this one and you need to configure your own fields. Why is it not getting disabled? I think I need to yeah, you can disable this, and now you can configure your own fields. So what should map which column? Okay, so domain should map what column. So what are the different things? Its host name should match what columns, right? So you can map your own output into the issues fields. Okay, so this is how your issue will be created with the fields, with the columns. Okay, so yeah, so this is about generating the issue. When you want to generate an issue, if the query is matching, the output is coming, you want to just generate the issue. That's all. That is the action. Okay, next is save to dataset. Okay, now I don't want to generate an issue if the event is happening, if some outputs are coming. Okay, so some people have opened cmd.exe. Okay, so some 10 people, 10 endpoints have opened cmd.exe. So that is my output. Okay, now using that, I want to generate a new data set. I want to create a new data set. Then I will go for save to data set. Okay, now here I just want to add to already existing data set. I want to add that information to existing data set. I can mention the name, or I want to create a new data set, just give a new name, and that new data set will be created. Okay. So a new container is created with whatever output data you have. Okay, so that is your save to data set. Then you have add to lookup and then remove from lookup. Now, lookup tables or lookup data sets are nothing but for your data enrichment. Okay, now whatever columns you create from the output of this query, okay, in your SQL query, whatever the output is, those outputs, those columns are just added as columns into an existing data set. Okay, you want to do that, you can add to lookup. Okay, and to which lookup data set you want to add those columns, you can select the lookup data set. Or let's assume already you have a lookup data set where the columns are there and you want to remove the columns. Okay, in that case you will go for remove from lookup. Okay, you are removing the columns from the data set, so you'll go for remove from lookup. Okay, so these are the 4 actions which you can take for a correlation rule. Whether I just want to generate the issue, okay, if the event happens, I just want to generate the issue, select it, or I want to create a new data set, save to data set, okay, or I want to add to lookup, that is add the columns to a lookup data set, or already existing lookup table is there, already existing columns are there in the lookup data set. I want to remove that, then go for remove from lookup. Okay, so these are the 4 actions we can perform via your correlation rules. Okay, so and also you want to disable it, you just want the rule to be here. Later I'll come and enable it. You can just create the rule and keep it here, or I want it to be active also, I can just uncheck this disable box, it will be enabled. Okay, it will be working now. Okay, so you can disable and enable also your correlation rules. Yeah, so that's your correlation rules configured. Let's quickly review this in the slide deck. Okay, so these are all the different fields that we need to that are available. So number of issues which are triggered by the rule, so that will be available. So that is here. These are all the fields, right? So what are the different columns here? These are all the fields, right? So number of issues means due to this correlation rule, these many issues were generated. Okay, so that is nothing but your number of issues, right? So all these columns are there, whatever columns are defined here. So number of issues, when it is scheduled, okay, what is the frequency, what is the severity level, the description, okay. So these are all essential fields. Advanced fields, you want to do a drill down query, that is available. Mapping with MITRE ATT&CK tactics and techniques, that is there. And you want to also issue the suppress the issue, that option is also available. Okay. Yeah, so correlation rules, create a correlation rules. So creating correlation rules start with defining the detection logic in SQL. So you need to define it in SQL query. What you want to detect, define that. And rules can be configured for real-time monitoring, or you can schedule the scans. Okay, so go and click on add correlation and you can create the rule. Yeah, these are the different things we need to populate for correlation rule. So give a name. Okay, you have a description, give a description, then give the SQL query, right? So what is the data set you want to check? What are the fields you want to check? Anything you want to filter out? Configure your SQL query. Okay, then when you want to schedule it, whether you want to put it in real time or whether you want to put it in every 10 minutes or you want to put it every Saturday, Sunday. Let's say Saturday, Sunday, I'm not in office. Okay, so let the correlation rule on correlation rule run on Saturdays and Sundays. So I can configure it. Okay, then comes your time frame. So for how long or how much logs I need to check. So I need to check for the past 1 hour. Whatever logs are there for the past 1 hour, I need to check that. Okay, so that is your time frame. Okay, I can give the time frame. Whatever logs have been added for the past 2 hours, I want to check that. Change the value as 2. Okay, so check your query time frame. Then you want to suppress the issues. That is, I don't want any more issues. Only one issue is enough. After that, any new issue comes based on the same in the same duration or field or both, I can suppress those issues. I don't want to keep on having noise. Okay. Then comes finally your action. So what is the action you want to take? Whether you want to generate an issue or save to dataset, add to lookup and remove from lookup. Now, if you give generate issue, you just want to generate an alert, generate an issue. Okay, then select this. What is the issue? What should be the name of the issue? define that. What should be the severity, to which category it belongs to, and also one more thing, domain it will ask. Okay, whether it is your security domain, whether it is your health domain, or whether it is your posture domain, that also is available. Okay, so that is a newly added one, but yeah, you can select the domain as well. Okay, then you also have the option of drill down query. That means if whatever query I'm doing, I get output, then I want to search further. I want to search this data set. Out of that, I want to filter out so and so things. And I want to search and I want to investigate more. Okay. So I have a drill down query for that. Okay. So you can use this. And what is the time frame for a drill down query? You can mention that. And to which MITRE ATT&CK tactics and techniques it should map. You can define that. Then comes finally your issue fields mapping. Okay, so to which fields the issue output should map, right? So what are the columns it should map? You can either use pre-configured fields, or you want to configure your own fields, that also you can do. Okay, so that is your configuration of collision. Yeah, so you have your issue field mappings, right? So what is the purpose of issue field mappings? So it will display critical issue details on the issues page. Okay, so it will help us in enhancing the case grouping logic. Okay, and automatically list the artifacts and assets based on whatever map fields are there. Okay, so what are the options? So either we can go for pre-configured mapping. So that is done automatically. So automatic field mapping is done, or you want to do manual mapping, that also you can do. So user selected fields for custom mapping. So whatever fields we select, based on that, the mapping is done. Okay. So when to use this? So manual mapping. When to use manual mapping? So if pre-configured mapping is unavailable, let's say, okay, or custom logic is needed, then I will use a manual mapping. Okay. Now, how do I do that? So select the fields to map during collision rule creation. Validate the fields for accuracy to avoid any null values. Okay. Feedback scenario: issues without any valid mapping create new issues. Okay. So fallback scenario, sorry. Yeah. And then customizing issue field mapping. So you can add the fields. So whatever new fields you want, you can add the new fields to the pre-configured list. Okay. Save the configuration as default for specific security domains. Okay. Restore defaults, revert the system to defaults when necessary. Whatever pre-configured fields are there, you want to revert back to that. You can restore it back, restore back to the default setting itself. And yeah, you have the action save data to data set. So you have different actions. So you have all these actions, right? So yeah, so you have generate issue, that action is there. You have save to data set is there, and then add and remove from lookup is there. Now save to data set, what does that do? So that is going to allow you to test and refine correlation rules before they are deployed in a production environment. Okay, so you can test and fine tune rules before production. Create reusable building blocks for complex rules. Okay, so what is the option? You can create a new data set or use an existing one as well. Okay, so when you go and check the schema, so yesterday we saw, right? You have option of schema. So schema will expand automatically to fit the new data. Okay, so yeah, that's about save to data set. And also the last action is add to and remove from lookup. Okay, so managing lookup datasets allows you to efficiently add or remove data for streamlined rule operations and better data organization. So you can add data, you can remove data, and there are a few limitations with this, right? So what are the different datasets? You can check here. So under dataset management, you have the lookup datasets as well. So you can search for them. And I guess that's about it. Yeah, so that's the end of your detection module. Any questions from this? What happened, guys? Everyone left the meeting and joining back? What happened? Hey, guys?
Not sure. Just got disconnected.
Everyone?
Me, I'm
Yeah,
not sure. Uh,
everyone got disconnected and joining back, it seems. Oh. When you all got disconnected?
just a few seconds. Yeah.
2 seconds? Okay. Okay. So I hope you all were there when I was dealing with this slide. Yes? Yes or
I
no?
think no. This
No.
one, yeah.
Okay, so lookup tables, that is done. So how do we manage the correlation rules? So we have the option of right clicking and then we have all these options. I got disconnected. Okay, not sure. All of you got disconnected, it seems. No, but for me, the class was on only. Okay. So yeah, so done, guys. The module is done. Any questions from this module?
One question,
Yeah.
Aaron. So, I saw that in the IOC tables,
Mhm.
there can be duplicate record, right? So if there are duplicate record like that, which one will be executed?
Sorry, what is it? Sorry, we have IOC rules. Okay.
Yeah.
Uh,
So I saw there are duplicate records, right? So which one will be execute for this duplicate
oh,
record
you
case?
have two similar rules, you are saying.
Yeah, correct.
The first one, whatever first one is matching, so it is always a top-down approach.
Top
Okay,
down.
so it will start from the top. It'll start keeping on matching. Whatever matches first, that will be and that will be triggered.
Okay, I see. So how about if we add the IOC, but
Mm.
uh I mean that IOC also happen to be in
Mhm.
our wildfire record.
In our
Uh, Wildfire.
wildfire.
Yeah, correct.
Okay.
Uh, and I mean the IOC that we have registered also the same in the wildfire. So
Okay. Mhm.
the one that will get executed should be the local one or the wildfire one.
No,
Any
if
info about it? Uh,
no wildfire, it'll so what is the verdict from wildfire? Depending on that.
yeah. I mean, for example, we have same hash lah record in the local and the wildfire.
Okay.
So which one? I mean,
No.
uh,
What did the wildfire say? Whether it is a benign one or whether it is a malicious one? What did the
yeah, should
wildfire say?
be malicious one lah. I mean,
Malicious one, then it is
mm,
blocked. So obviously that action will be blocked. So if the wildfire says, hey, this is a malicious file, it
mm-hmm.
is going to block it. It is not going to allow it.
Okay,
Otherwise.
so this IOC also the only
No,
apply for the
here
blacklist one,
IOC
right?
rule is only for detection. So if anything is there, let's say any file is
I
there,
see. Uh-huh.
or any IP address is there, only for detection you can use IOC rules. So
Okay.
any let's say any process is running, it will say, hey, this process was run. That's all. The detection process. That's all.
So how to apply the block one, Aaron? How?
For that you can write BIUC rule. Let's say you configure a BIUC rule, you will have the
Mm-hmm.
option to add it in your restrictions profile.
Oh, okay, I
Okay.
see.
So once you add that in a restrictions profile, then you automatically it will block it. It will not allow the process to run. It will not allow let the application run.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
Let me try that. Thanks, Aaron.
no problem. Yeah. So any other questions, participants? Are all good? Okay. If all good, give me a thumbs up. Thank you guys. Thank you. Thank you so much. And these are the labs which you'll be doing for this module, right? So you'll be having IOC, BIOC walkthrough. You'll be reviewing a correlation rule. You'll be creating custom IOC rules, right? So lab 14, 15, 16 belong to this module. So yeah, so that's about it. So one module done for the day. We have two more modules to be completed. Before starting the next module, let's take a small coffee break. Okay. We'll take a 15 minutes break and then we'll come back and start with the next module. Okay. So I'll put the timer for 15 minutes. Have some good coffee or tea, whatever you prefer. Yeah. See you after the break, guys. Thank you. Mm, Wait a moment, let me open the slides. Yeah. So I hope the screen is visible to you guys, and I hope I'm loud and clear. Okay, awesome. So let's go ahead and jump to module number 6. So this is module 6 of our XDR engineer course, which is about system optimization. Okay, so in this module, we are going to discuss about site tool. So site tool is nothing but your CLI tool, which gets installed automatically whenever we are installing the agent, right? So agent software, when we are installing on the endpoint side, automatically site tool will also get installed. Okay, and this is a very lightweight tool, doesn't use much of the CPU cycles, much of the resources, but yeah, very useful CLI tool on your endpoints. So we'll talk about that. Then we'll talk about the support files, right? So how to generate the support files, both on your endpoint side or as well as your console. Okay, so if you are facing any issues, we'll be generating support files, giving it to the support team. So we'll talk about that, how to generate the support files. Then we'll talk about the exclusions, right? Now, exclusion means we don't want the noise. Okay, so we don't want to get the issues available in our management console. Okay, but the protection should be there. Just that noise should not be there. That is, the alerts or issues should not be there. Okay, so we'll talk about exclusions. Then we'll talk about exceptions. Okay, so what are exceptions? Exceptions means we don't want the protection also. Okay, so all your protection modules, your malware protection module, exploit protection modules, those modules also I don't want. Okay, I don't want those protection modules. And obviously, if protection is not happening, issues are also not generated. Okay, so we'll talk about those exceptions. So issue exceptions, how to do that. And also finally about global exceptions, right? So exceptions we can create for individual endpoints. Okay, or globally means for all the endpoints, there will not be any protection. Okay, so yeah, so these are the topics we are going to cover in module number 6. So let's get started with site tool first. So same learning objectives. We'll start with site tool. Okay, now as I said, what is site tool? This is nothing but a command line interface tool in our endpoints. Okay, as we are installing the agent software on the endpoints, this site tool also get installed. Okay, so this is nothing but a command line interface for administrators. Okay, and this is the primary tool for managing and troubleshooting. Okay, now this is not comparable to the agent console. Agent console we already saw. Okay, so in agent console we don't have much options or many options, we can say. Okay, so we can see whether the protection is enabled or not. Yes, and if we want to see any events that have occurred, we will be able to see those events. And we want to check for any scans, we can do that. And yeah, other than that, some basic things we can do from your agent console. Okay, but via your C tool, via your site tool, we can do much more options. We can perform much more actions. Okay, now where is the site tool located? It will be located in this folder. So on the C drive, under program files, under Palo Alto Networks folder, you have a traps folder. Now traps was the initial name of Cortex XDR. Okay, when Cortex XDR was introduced, the name was given to it as traps. Now it has evolved as Cortex XDR, but yeah, before the name was traps. And this is where this is in this folder only your site tool will be located. Okay, and it is not going to ask you for any folder and all. By default, this is the folder where all the files are stored. Okay, now if you want to use the site tool, how do we use it? So you can use site tool and then give space and then give this command. Let's say you want to know what are the different commands. Okay, so you can give site tool, then slash, then question mark. It is going to give you all the options. Okay, whatever options, whatever actions you can perform, or whatever commands are there, all those commands will be available using this option. Okay. Now, few of the actions which you perform, okay, it will require a password. That is your supervisor password. Supervisor, or you can call it as uninstall password. Okay. Now that will be required for some options. Some actions you will be requiring the password. Some actions do not require the password, but some of actions require the password. Okay. Now, if you remember, where do we configure this supervisor password? So you have one option of configuring the supervisor password in a global level. Okay. Another place you can configure the supervisor password is your agent settings. So you have an agent settings profile. In your agent settings profile, also you can configure your supervisor password. Okay. Now, which one will take the precedence? Whatever you are configuring in your agent settings profile, that will take the precedence. That's what your now supervisor password will be. Yes, you can have it in a global level. Yes, but whatever you are setting it up in the agent settings profile, that will take the precedence, and that's that password only you have to give. Okay. Now, by default, the password is, now if you have not set up anything, okay, the default password will be I think it will be password 1. That's your default password. If you have not set up anything, for everyone, for all the agents, it's going to be password 1. But if you have configured something specifically in your agent settings profile, that will take the precedence. Okay. Now, where do we have this site tool? So when I go to my endpoint, let's say this is my endpoint. Okay. Now we already know our agent console. This is our agent console. Okay. Where we can check what is the status. Okay. I want to perform a manual heartbeat. I can do that by clicking on check in now. Okay. I want to generate a support file. Let's assume I am facing some issues. I want to generate a support file. I can just click on this link. It is going to generate the support file. That is easy, pretty easy. Then I want to view any events, whatever alerts or whatever malwares were identified, whatever exploits were identified on my endpoint, those events will be updated here. Any detection prevention, those events will be updated here. Any scan you want to check, you can see here. And under settings, you can check the language. Okay, so these are the basic settings or basic options you have in your agent console. Whereas when you go to your site tool, you will have lots more options. You can do a lot more of actions from your site tool. Now site tool, I think, yeah, it is open. So we need to go to your command prompt. Okay. So open the command prompt as administrator, and we need to go to this folder. Okay. So your site tool will be available in this folder. So program files under C, program files, Palo Alto Networks, and traps. And this folder, I can use the site tool option. Okay. Now, how do I know what are the different options or actions available under site tool? So just type site tool. Okay. And then give the slash and then give question mark. Okay. Once I click enter, it is going to give me all these options. So all these commands I can use. Right, so if I want to, let's say, get the information, I want to do a scan, I want to do a firewalling operation, I want to check the EDR operations, I want to do any anti-malware operations, behavioral threat protection rules. Okay, so isolate, import, log, or you have persist databases. I want to view the persistent databases. So all these actions are available here. Okay. Now, few actions, few options, it will require a password. Few actions will not require a password. For example, let's say I want to stop the agent from running. Okay, now my agent is running on my endpoint. Okay, my agent is active. It is running on my endpoint. Okay, now let's assume I want to stop the endpoint. I don't want the endpoint to run. Oh, sorry, I don't want the agent to run. So for that, I have a command. So the command for that is site tool runtime stop. Yeah, site tool runtime stop. Okay. If I give this, it is going to ask me the password, your supervisor password. Okay. Now, what is the password? Password is password 1. PASSWORD 1. Okay. Once I type the password, click enter. Okay. It is going to stop the site server. Now you can see the protection is disabled. Okay, I did that here on my site tool. Okay, so what it says, everything is stopped. Now my agent has stopped working. Okay, so few operations like this, I can do it from my site tool, and few operations will require a password. Now let's say I want to again enable it. I want the agent to run. I can do it from my site tool. So the command for that is site tool runtime start. Okay, when I give this command, now it's going to start the site tool. Sorry, start the protection, that is enable the agent. Now you can see again the agent is enabled. Okay, so like this I can perform various operations via my site tool. So the operations which I cannot do using my agent console, I can do that using my site tool. Right? So site tool is nothing but a CLI in for administrators to perform various options under your on your endpoints. Okay. Yeah. And yeah, once you give site tool space slash and question mark, you will get all these options. So these are all the different options or different actions which you can perform using your site tool. Okay. Next, these are all your data locations where the folders, files and folders are there. So these are all the data locations. So this folder, program data, Cyvera, location system folder, this will have the hash verdict cache in W. So agent's immediate hash verdict cache is in WF cache. Okay. Now program data, this will be hidden. Okay. But when you type it, so when you go to your search bar, when you type this, you will be able to view it, right? So by default, it will be hidden, but you can view these folders. Okay. And then your persistent databases. So all your databases, persistent databases will be available in this folder. Okay. So on disk key value data stores for agent data, this folders will have. Then your registry subtree under this folder. So for example, all your trusted signers. So are all the trusted signers, they will be available in these folders. Okay. So these folders are created automatically. So you can go and check. And these are all the different databases. Okay, so these are called as persistent databases. All the information about your agent, how it is working, what is the front end, what is the parts, everything, what are the different actions, what are the settings of your agent, all these will be available in these databases. So these are nothing but your persistent databases. Okay, and now let's say you want to view all these databases. You can do that again using site tool. You will be able to view what are the different databases available. For example, so when I go to my site tool and I type site tool, uh, let me show this above. Yeah. Site tool and persist and list. If I want to list all the persistent databases, I need to type this. Okay. So site tool persist list is going to list down all the databases. So these many databases are there automatically generated on your endpoint. Okay. Or I want to view them, again the same command, site tool persist view or print the database name. For example, yeah, I have all these commands, right? So I want to list the databases. What are the different databases? I can use this one. Okay. I want to view it. I want to print it. Give print which database you want to print that. You want to export a database. You want to import any database, give the file. It will be imported. Okay. So all these actions I can do using your site tool. For example, yeah, this is your print. So one of the databases I want to view. So give site tool persist print whatever database you want to view, give that database name and you'll get the information. Okay. So you'll get what is the authentication ID, right? So all the information about the agent, what is the front end, cloud front end, all the information you will be able to view via this command. Okay. So very useful one, CLI command in your endpoint. Okay. Now, all these databases, whatever databases are there, you want to clear those things. Okay. You want to reset all those databases. That also you can do. So you can reset the agent database by clearing the XDR agent state. Now, how do I do that? This is done on your management console. That is, come to your management console. From there, on whichever endpoint you want to clear your database, reset your database, click on that, select that, do a right click, you'll get endpoint control. In endpoint control, you have the clear agent database. So click on that. All the databases, whatever databases are there, it will be reset. Okay, so everything is clear, it will be reset. Okay, but this has to be done from your management console. Okay, yeah, so that's about your site tool option. Next comes your support files. Now, when do you generate support files? let's assume I am facing an issue. Okay, so the communication, let's say between the agent software is not happening, or the agent software is not working properly, or some issues are there. So what do I do? I cannot troubleshoot it. It is beyond my scope of troubleshooting. So what do? I go and talk to my support team, Palo Alto Networks support team, and tell them that, hey, I am facing so and so issues. Okay, these are the issues I am facing. Not the agent is not working properly, it is not getting upgraded properly, whatever it may be. Okay. Now, what they will do is they will ask you to generate a support file. Okay, and they will ask you to submit the support file. So they will go through this support file and they will know what are the logs being generated. They will easily identify what is the issue, and then they will be able to help you. Okay, so we need to generate the support file. So we'll see how to generate the support file. Okay, so the support file is nothing but an on-demand aggregation of all the logs, right? So all the logs will be there for an endpoint, and that will be downloaded in a zip file. Okay, so in order to help the technical support in troubleshooting, we will be submitting this support file. Okay, so support file, nothing but in a zip file, all the logs, they are available here. Okay, now how do I get the support file? There are three ways. Okay, one is I can generate the support file from your management console. Okay, so in your management console itself, we can generate the support file. So instance request from the file from the agent. For example, how do I generate this? So I need to go to the console. Okay, where I need to go? I need to go to all endpoints. So go to inventory, go to all endpoints. Let's assume I am facing some issue with my endpoint. Where is my endpoint? 32200. Yeah, this is my endpoint. Okay, so I'm facing some issue with this. Okay, what I can do, I can just do a right click. Okay, endpoint control, and I will have the option of retrieve support file here. Okay, I need to just click on retrieve support file. That's all. It'll ask you, are you sure you want to retrieve the support file? Yes, I'm sure. Click OK. Okay, now this action is initiated. You can see on the top right, I'll get the notification that the action is initiated. Okay, now where do I check for the support file? Where do I know whether the support file has downloaded or not, whether it has been retrieved or not? Where do I know? For that, I need to go to Action Center. Now, where is my Action Center? My Action Center is there in Investigation and Response. There, when you scroll down, you have the response action. Okay, under that I have Action Center. So I need to go to Action Center. Okay, so whatever actions I perform, all will be updated here in your Action Center. All the actions will be updated here. You can see here anything added to EDL. So I think you guys did this add to EDL, right? So somebody did malware scan and then add to EDL. Somebody, initiated a live terminal, right? So whatever actions are performed, response actions are performed, all those actions are updated here in your all actions in your action center. Okay. Now you can see here, I hope you are able to view. Yeah. So retrieve support file from 32200 endpoint. Okay. And what is the status? The status is in progress. That means it is now retrieving the support file from my endpoint. Okay. Once it is done, it will say the status as completed successfully. Okay. Once the retrieval of the file is done, it will say completed successfully. I need to wait till then for the file to be retrieved. Okay. So this is one way of generating the tech support file. So from my management console. Another way is from the endpoint. Okay, from the endpoint, there are two ways. From your agent console, I can do it. Okay, so agent console we already saw, right? So when I go to my endpoint and open my agent console, here you have the option of generate support file. So just click on this. Again, the same process. It is going to generate your tech support file. Okay, so that is from your agent console, and also using SciTool. We have a command for that. Okay, in your SciTool, if you give that command, again, it's going to generate the support file. Okay, so three ways we can generate the tech support file. So first one, go to the end, and whatever you do, it will be there in the action center. Okay, so in the action center, you can go and retrieve the support file. So retrieving support file in management console. So select retrieve support file from the endpoint shortcut menu. Okay, so yes, so once it is done, once it is completed successfully, do a right click, select additional data. Okay, or yeah, additional data. it'll show you this one. Okay, so it is completed successfully. Now you can download the files from here. So you can do a right click and download the files. So it is not yet done, I think. So when I go to my management console, is it completed? No, it is still in progress. Let me refresh and check. Is it done? Still in progress. Okay, we'll wait for this. Once it is done, I'll show you how to download the file from here, management console. Okay. Yeah, so this is from your management console. From your agent side, you just click on this link and it will be able to generate. So click on the generate support file link. It will automatically generate it, give you the folder also. Automatically, this will open. Okay, so when the generation is finished, the folder that contains the zip file opens automatically. Okay, so this folder will open automatically, and make sure whenever you are generating a tech support file, it should be used within 7 days. Okay, after 7 days, it will not be used. It will be deleted automatically. Okay, so file is able to be retrieved from the console for up to 7 days after creation. So make sure you use it within 7 days. Even if you are creating a case, make sure you use that within 7 days. You submit that to the support team within 7 days. Okay, so in your agent console, just click on this link to generate the support file, or using SciTool, you need to give this command. Okay, so SciTool log collect. This is a command to generate the support file via SciTool. Okay. Once you do this, again, it will run automatically. The text support file will be successfully created. And again, you will know under what folder. That folder will open automatically. Okay. So these are the 3 ways via which we can generate the text support file. Yeah. Now you can generate a support file password. Okay. You can encrypt the password. Obviously for safety purposes, because it is having very sensitive information, right? So this tech support file will have lots of sensitive information. I don't want others to make use of it. So what I'll do, I will generate a support file password. Now, how do I do this? Okay, so for this, again, it should be completed. Let's see if it is completed or not. Still in progress. Okay, once it is completed, what we need to do is right click on this and you have the additional data. So either click on this, or when you move your mouse over this, you'll have additional data, this blue color symbol. Once you click on this, it'll give you the specific one. Okay, so let me zoom out a little. Yeah, so still it is showing in progress. Once it is done, you need to download this. Right click and you're not yet getting the download option. Okay, so let it happen. Okay, once the download is complete, I'll show you what to do. Okay, but still then we'll check that in the sliding. Okay, so what we need to do is we need to go to the action center. We know, so we are already in the action center. Do a right click and click additional data. Okay, or alternatively you'll have the blue button. Okay, where it'll show you additional data. So select the additional data from that. Okay, so either the blue arrow or do a right click and select the additional data. Okay, once you do that, it'll open like this. Okay, now once it is completed, successfully completed, you will get these options. So download files option you will get. Okay, so select download, do a right click, download files. Once you download it, it will be downloaded into your workstation. Okay, and it will have these two things. Okay, and one of the file will be called as crypto info file. Just open this crypto info file, you will get the password in it. Okay, the password will be available in my crypto file. Okay, just copy paste this password, whatever password is there mentioned in this crypto file, copy paste it. Okay, copy it, not paste it, copy it. Again, go back to the console. Okay, again go back, do a right click on whatever we downloaded, right? So do a right click, it will have retrieve support file password. Okay, so click on it, it'll ask you to copy paste the password. So whatever password you copied here, you paste it here, you click enter, and it's going to give you a encrypted password. Okay, so just enter, it is going to give you a encrypted password. Now you can copy the password by clicking on this icon. You will have the encrypted password now. Okay, so that others will not get hold of the password. You will have an encrypted password. Now you can make use of this password to open any of the files. Now, whenever you're downloading the support file, all the files inside that will be opening only using the password. They are all password protected, right? So you can encrypt the password and keep it safe. Okay, so that's how you encrypt the password. Yeah, Now I'll check whether the file has been downloaded or not. I hope it is downloaded. No, still in progress. Okay, let's wait for a few more seconds. If it gets completed, I'll be able to show you how to generate the password or how to encrypt the password. Okay, until then, I'll go to the next slide. Okay, so I'll show you. Next is the agent tokens. Agent tokens we already discussed. Okay, for example, let's say I have an administrator who should work on an endpoint. Okay, who should work on an endpoint, let's say check the databases, check the persistent databases, or any issues are there on the endpoints. This administrator should be able to work. Okay, and he or she will do it via site tool. Okay, but to do those operations, this administrator will require a password. Okay, your supervisor password, that is. Okay, now let's assume I don't want to give the password to everyone. So now I'm the main administrator. I have the supervisor password for the agents, but I don't want to give the supervisor password to everyone. So what I'll do, I can create a token. Okay, I can create this token and give this token to my administrator who is working on the endpoint. Okay, and I can mention the validity of this token. Let's say I create this token only for 5 days. Okay, so that token, whatever token I'm creating, will be valid only for 5 days. So this administrator, whatever actions he or she is performing in the site tool, can do it for 5 days using this token password. After 5 days, this token will get expired. Then after that, again, the administrator will not be able to do any options or any actions. Okay, so for 5 days, temporarily, I want to generate a token, generate a simple password. I can do that using tokens, right? So how do we do this? So when I go to all endpoints, it is successful. Okay, but first I'll show you the tokens. Okay, where I need to go, I need to go to endpoints. So go to inventory, go to all endpoints. And let's say I have administrator who should work on this endpoint. Okay, but only for 5 days. So I want to create a temporary password. So go to endpoint control and I have the set temporary token. So I'll click on set temporary token. And what is the number of days for which the token should be active? 5 days. Okay, so I'll enter. Automatically this token is created. Okay, now I'll copy paste this token and give it to my administrator. Now this will be the supervisor password for 5 days. After 5 days, the token will be expired. After that, that administrator cannot use the same token. Okay, so there is a simple way of generating a token and providing it to the administrator. Okay, so that is your tokens. Okay? Now let's come back to the encryption of password. Okay, now how do I do that? So I have now generated the tech support file. So go to investigation and response, action center. Yeah, pending. Oh, this is the token which I generated now. Okay, we are not bothered about that. So we are bothered about this one now. Retrieve tech support file. So that is completed. Okay, so let me refresh once. Yeah, so this is done. Okay, now either I can do a right click, go to additional data, or when I move my mouse over here, it'll show you a blue color symbol, arrow. You can click on that as well. Okay, once I do that, it is going to specifically show me this entry. Okay, so I have downloaded the tech support. I'm retrieving the tech support file for this endpoint. Okay, it is completed successfully. Now do a right click, you will get download files option. Okay, so click on download files. Once I click on download files, it is going to get downloaded on this workstation. Okay, so it is downloaded. Let's see. One download is in progress. Once it is complete, we'll open it. Yeah, it is open. Done, right? Now I'll open the folder, downloads folder. Okay, and it is still unconfirmed. Let me open it again. Yeah, now it is open. Now when I open this one, I'll get these two things, right? So here is where all the tech support files, everything, all the files will be available in this folder. Also, I have this crypto info file. Okay, let me open this. Okay, open using Notepad. And yeah, so here is my password. So you can see all this information and then you have password information. Okay, so my password starts from here. Password is starting from here and till here. Now this is my password. Okay. What I'll do, I'll copy this one. Copy this one. Okay. Now go back to your management console. Go back to your management console. Again, do a right click here. So do a right click and you have the retrieve support file password. Okay. I want to retrieve the support file password. So select this. Now it is asking me to add the password, encrypted password. It is asking me to add. So I will add it here, copy paste and enter. It is going to give me the password here. So this is my support file password. Using this password, now I can go and open the files which are there in the folder. All the tech support files, they will be they encrypted. I need this password to open it. So copy paste this one, copy paste. Okay. Now when you go, let's say if you open the files, where are the files? Yeah. So when I need to open any file, let's open this. Yeah. So let's say any file I want to open. Ah, any file I want to open. Let's say this file I want to open. It is going to ask me the password. I will copy paste the password. Paste the password. Okay. And I will be able to open the files. Okay. So yeah. So this is how you get the password encrypted. Okay. So yeah, I hope that is clear. Let me close these things. Okay, good. So that is generating support file password. Okay. Next is this is how you create a case, right? So where do you need to go? You need to go to supportcases.paloaltonetworks.com. Okay. And that's where you need to create a case. Okay. So either you can do this from your, you can start this from your support portal. So go to support, log into customer support portal. There you'll get a button called register a case. Once you do that, it is going to redirect you to support cases, and here you need to create a case. Okay. Now it will ask you what is the issue. So what are the issue you are facing? You need to describe that. From what point of time, from which date are you facing the issue? You need to define that. Okay. And also you need to submit your tech support file. Whatever tech support file we are generating, we need to submit it. Okay. Once it is done, your case will be created and you can manage your cases here. So you can see what are the cases open, what are the cases closed. Okay. So all those options are available here in your supportcases.paloaltonetworks.com. So you can follow your cases in this page. Yeah. Another option is you can create a support case via your help option. Okay, so another method allows you to automatically generate and attach the tech support file. So if you go via this method, it will automatically generate the tech support file. Okay, create console readings, provide other information that can help speed up the investigation and resolution time when opening a support ticket. Okay, now where is this option available? So when I go to your management console, so this, let me close it. And yeah, I'll go to back. Yeah. So here under the help option, you have the help option, right? So click on this and you'll have the option of submit a support case. Click on this and we need to populate all these things. So you need to describe what is the issue you are facing. You need to describe that. Okay. Then what is your number, contact number? That is, to whom should the support team contact? You need to mention the contact number. What is the frequency? How often are you facing the issue? Whether consistent or intermittent or not applicable. You need to mention the frequency. When was the most recently you faced the issue? Okay, most recent issue start date. So from when the issue got started, when you are facing these things, you need to mention the date and time. Then what is the impact? What is the severity? Whether it is low severity, minor, major, critical. What is the severity? What is the impact of the issue? You need to select that. Okay, and then also you need to check this. So if you check this, you are allowing Palo Alto to automatically generate the tech support file. Whatever things they want to access, they will be able to access, right? So whatever things CSP team or your tech support team should access, you're just giving the access to them. You are allowing the access to them. Okay. Once you check this box, sorry. Yeah, once you check that box, it'll ask you for the next button, next, and then you'll have few basic things. Submit it, automatically the case is created. Okay. Once it is done, then based on your severity level, Yeah, cancel request. Based on the severity level, what is the issue you are facing? Based on that, the tag team or the support team will contact back to you, communicate back to you, and then they will resolve the issue. Okay, so this is an even faster method of communicating with the support team. Okay, so go and click on this and populate all the details and submit the case. Okay. Yeah, so that's about support files. Next is about exclusions and exceptions. Okay, now first let me give a basic idea about what are exclusions. Okay, now when you go for exclusions, what you are going to do is under exclusions, you are going to say protection should be there. Okay, what this exclusions means is protection is there, okay, but issues I don't want. Yes, even though protection is there, and let's say any malware is identified, I don't want the alert. I don't want the issue. Okay, so protection is there, sorry, issue I don't want. Okay, another option is exceptions. Now, what is this exception? Now, many people confuse both of them. Okay, so many people feel both exclusion and exceptions are same. No, but no, they are not. In exceptions, what happens is protection I don't want. Issues also I don't want. Obviously, if protection is not there, issues are also not there. Okay, so if I'm going for exclusions, protection is there. That means my malware protection module, exploit protection module, all those are working. Okay, if any malware comes up, it is going to block it. Yes, but I don't want the issues. So whatever alerts, whatever issues the agents are sending to me to the management console, I will avoid it. I don't want to put it in my issues table. I don't want to update my table. That's all. Okay, that is your exclusion. What do you mean by exception? I don't want the protection also. So on my endpoint, my protection modules, that is your malware protection modules, exploit protection modules, they also need not work. Okay, so let's say I have a process, I have an application, and for that, I don't want the protection. I don't want my malware protection module to check that, the exception protection module to check that. No, I don't want. So no protection. And since no protections are there, the issues are also not going to be generated. Okay, so that is the difference between exclusions and exceptions. Okay, so please make sure you understand this very clearly. What are exclusions and what are exceptions? Now we'll talk about how to create these profiles, how to create your exclusions, how to create the exceptions. Okay, now first, so where are these options? We need to go to exceptions configuration. Okay, so this is single pane to view and create exclusions, suppressions, and disable rules. Now where is this available? So when I go to my settings, when you click on settings, I have the exceptions configuration option. Okay, now everything, whether you want to do exclusions, whether you want to do exceptions, all these are available here under exceptions configuration. So click on this and I can see all these things here. So first is your issue exclusions. Okay, issue exclusions. Then I have disable prevention rules. Then I have support exception rules, legacy agent exceptions. All these are nothing but exclusions and exceptions. So first we'll deal about exclusions. Okay, so what are exclusions? How to create exclusion rule? All these things. Yeah. So there are 4 submenus available from the exceptions configuration. Okay, so it is located in settings. When you go to settings, you'll have the exceptions configuration and it will open this page. Now here is where I can perform any exclusions. Okay, issue exclusions. I want to suppress any IOC rules, BIOC rules. I can do that. Okay, again, so that means I don't want more noise. I want to suppress those issues. I can do that. Disable prevention rules. I have that. Legacy exceptions, I have that. So all these options are available under exceptions configuration. Right? So we'll explore all these things. First, we'll talk about issue exclusions. Okay, issue exclusion. Now, what is an issue exclusion rule? It is nothing but to suppress issues from Cortex XDR. Okay, that means again, let me explain the scenario. Let's say this is our management console. Okay, I have multiple endpoints. Now, what are there in the endpoints? The agent software is sitting on your endpoints. Now, your agent software identifies a malware. Okay, it will identify a malware. What it will do immediately, it will generate an alert. or it will generate an issue. It will send it to my management console. Okay. In my management console, I have a issues page where I will list down all the issues. Okay. So now let's say this issue comes, I will update it in my issues table. I'll update that in my issues table. That is the usual procedure. Okay. Now what I am doing is I am creating an exclusion rule. Okay. Now how to create, we'll talk about that. But let's assume I have created an exclusion rule saying that, hey, if the issue comes, I don't want. Okay. Now what I'll do, again, let's assume on this agent or on this endpoint, the agent identified a malware. Okay. What it'll do immediately, it is going to generate the issue, send that, hey, I detected a malware, I prevented it. That issue will be sent by this agent to the management console. Okay. But since I have created an exclusion rule, I'm not going to take this. Okay, yeah, let the agent generate it, send it, but I'm not going to take it and update in my issues page. No, I don't want that. Okay, let's assume same thing. This agent has identified a malware, generate an alert, send the alert or send the issue to the management console. But since I have not, since I have configured exclusion rule, I'm not going to take this. I'm not going to update this as my issues table. Okay, so that's what an exclusion is. Protection is happening. Yes, the agent is protecting. The malware was identified, it was detected, and it was prevented. Okay, so protection is happening in your agent side. That is good. But just that issues, I'm not taking it and updating in my table. That's all. Okay, that is your exclusions. So matching data, if I have configured a rule, it is no longer considered an issue. Okay, so what are the use cases to reduce the noise? Okay, so more and more issues keep on coming. Everything I don't want. Those are nothing but noise, right? So I can avoid those things. So to reduce the noise caused by unwanted issues stemming from the false positives. Those are a few use cases. Now I can either create a rule. Now how do we do the exclusion? There are two ways. One is I create a exclusion rule. Okay. Another one is I can also create individual issue exclusions. Okay. And this is not a rule. Okay. So I can create individual issue exclusions. How do I do that? I go to the issues page, do a right click, and there I will have the option of manage issue. Okay. For manage issue, I will get the option of exclude issue. So I need to perform exclude issue. If I do that in future, again, any such issues come, it will be automatically avoided. It will be rejected. It will not be taken. Okay. So two ways to create exclusion. One is to configure one exclusion rule. Another one is to configure the exclusion for individual issues as well. Okay. So those are the two ways. Now we'll see how both of them work. So first we'll talk about issue exclusion rule. Now why do I do this? So go to settings, exceptions configuration. I'll get the issue exclusions page. Come to this page.